Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His
The Wigan Way podcast is brought to you by Cherry and White Pins, a local Wigan Warriors themed pin badge company with a variety of Wigan ranges. You can get free shipping on all orders when you use the code The Wigan Way, that's The Wigan Way, all in capitals, at checkout. Thanks to them for supporting the show.
So we're back for this week's episode of the Wigan Way. A little bit of a different feel, really, lads, this week after a loss in the Challenge Cup. A tournament that is massive around Wigan and really important to the Wigan people, but was a disappointing loss, really. Before we get into it, we'll obviously have a little chat about the events of the game and then how it went on. But before that, Matty, Lewis, how you doing, lads?
Good. Yeah, good.
Okay, like I said, frustrating night Saturday night.
Yeah.
But felt take that away, but we're doing okay.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's frustrating and disappointing, and losing every week. Losing any week is disappointing, whether it's a league game, whether it's a cup game. It is really disappointing. But we always thought that we don't film this podcast straight after the game because we don't want that immediate frustrated reaction. Otherwise, every loss would be the same thing: hate losing, blah blah blah. Is there a world, probably to improve the mood a little bit here, but is there a world where this could be a benefit to us in the long run? It's been a hectic 2 seasons.
Well, if we win the next 4 games, away at Leeds, home at Salford, away at Hull KR, home at St Helens, if we win those 4 games, yeah, I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, it's one that you can't win everything.
No.
And listen, I don't want to, make excuses. We weren't good enough on the night. We definitely weren't good enough in that second half. But it wasn't, there was things that emerged throughout the game with injuries and the reshuffling of the back line that obviously caused us a little bit, put us on the back foot. Yeah. I don't want to make excuses.
It was a bit of a perfect storm, wasn't it, where Hull came out with nothing to lose and threw the good chance their arm, and we were playing very defensive, and we had that shuffle around, and so yeah, I think it was a bit of a perfect storm that led to that second half.
I think what I'm trying to say is if everything was good and we just blatantly lost it because we had a crap performance, it might be a bit more of a bitter pill to swallow. But when you're thinking all things considered, we were on the back foot for a lot of that game with the injuries, the reshuffling of the team. You think actually get a couple of those bodies back, have a best 13 for the end of the game, and it's a different story, isn't it?
The two tries at the end come without Cade Ellis on the field, and we're huge fans of Cade Ellis, and that's another reason why we're always constantly banging that drum about how good Cade Ellis is. It's probably one of the things that was his weak point when he first came over, his defence and his organisation in defence, but it shows how valuable he is.
Yeah. I suppose what I was trying to get at is we've gone out early.
We have, yeah.
Losing in a cup, as bad as it is to lose now, you don't really want to lose in the final because you played 4 rounds extra of rugby and got nothing to show for it.
Well,
this going out early.
Think about this. Most times in our life, Wigan haven't won the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
Most times. You can say that about any team. Most times they don't win the Challenge Cup. And this whole streak of winning trophies was nice, but it was going to end.
Yeah.
And the more trophies you add to that, or the more wins you get, or you get closer to the final, it feels like it's going to end in a catastrophic way. Whereas, a bit like actually the 8 in a row was ended with just a regular early round game against Salford.
It wasn't a final that was lost, and you were annoyed.
So it's not a big spectacular, calamitous wheels fall off at Wembley performance, or at Old Trafford, even worse. That would be even worse. So I'll be interested to see how the rest of the cup competition goes. It's a lot more wide open now. I think everybody feels that way. Yeah.
I want to carry on with what you were saying then, Matty. There's been a lot of talk about this team not by missing out on going to Wembley and potentially another Challenge Cup. And obviously, there's still a long way to go. We could have lost a quarter, semi, or final before.
Yeah.
We're not talking like it was a guaranteed win. If we
You
beat
can
Leicester.
get Hull KR away, or you can get St Helens away, or Warrington, whatever. It's a tough game next.
But look, I saw comments about this team not ending up with what it deserves and missing out on trophies and not actually having the record that it probably deserves, and a fear of that. And I just think, you know what, if you look back on it, and we won a Challenge Cup in 22, Grand Final in 23, do the 4 last year. If this year we're only competing on 2 fronts, really, that's not... No one's going to look at that and say...
This team will get what it deserves.
Yeah.
Every team gets what they deserve, realistically. There's not been a time where we've not won the league where we've deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the cup, you could say. It doesn't happen. You deserve what you get.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to win.
Yeah, and you can't win everything.
You can't win
everything. It's, all good things must come to an end. Like you're saying, you have to kind of look at the stuff and say, well, what were the reasons for that, and we'll improve. You know, I suppose, like you're saying, Tommy's do a positive to take from it. It is a bitter pill to swallow when you lose any game of rugby league. But like you're saying, now we know what our focus is, and the lads have to reset and think, right, we're out of the cup, we know that's it. We can't do anything to change that, so our full focus now is on the league and getting back to
Peaking at the right time for the end of the
100%.
season.
Yeah, I just think them 3 weeks extra off. We've not had a proper week off since the Challenge Cup of 23 when we lost in the semi. And we had a week off that we earned through the playoffs. But actually a lot of these teams have had 2 and 3 weeks off during the season. We've not had that for the last... We didn't have it in 22.
Well, that's why it's so hard to win.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see many doubles or trebles or even quadruples as we had last year.
Here's a question for you.
Yep.
Hull FC, can we now classify them as our bogey team? We always struggle away. We did last season, we did the season before that.
We did put 40 points on them at their
We've
place.
done that.
We had to beat them in
Yeah,
Golden
it's-
Point once, didn't we?
Yeah, we beat them a goal. They're a tough team.
Even last year, they were at the place when they were in an absolutely shocking run of form. That was how we started there. Didn't we lose to Hull FC, then we lost to Wire at home and got battered live.
I think it's
that
tough
was where the wheels started falling off at Hull FC away.
I think it's tough to say that they're a bogey team because it was only 3 weeks ago that we beat them 44. Was it 44?
They probably got the best record out of any team against us in the last...
Under Matty Peake.
Under Matt. Well, I don't know. Saints have got a pretty good record against us in the peak.
They'd be up there, is what I'm saying.
I think it'd probably
They'd definitely be top 3.
probably level with Saints. I know we've won 50% against Saints. I think because we've won all our home games against them.
And they've won all those.
They've won all their aways, and we've won 1 Magic each. All but Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
We did them in Challenge Cup, didn't we?
With Hull FC, we won all our games at home,
Apart from this one.
apart from this one, and we've lost all the ones at Hull, apart from this one. As in 3 weeks ago. So it's probably 50-50, it's probably even.
It probably is pretty even.
So yeah, a bit of a bogey team. It's tough. It's really tough. One of the major talking points, and before we dive into the game and the tries and the incidents, it's probably worth talking about the injuries that unfolded in this game. First of all was Adam Kieran.
Yes.
3-4 minutes in.
Yeah. Setting up a try.
Setting up a try. We'll talk about the try later, and we'll tell you when it was and all that stuff. But he takes a late hit from Jordan Rapana
To the head.
to the head, which has got him 3.5 penalty points and puts him on 4.5. So he's half a point away from a ban now.
Yeah.
And in the motion of him falling and being hit, he's actually done his right knee. His right knee's almost collapsed in. And obviously it wasn't a hit drop, but in that fashion, you know, where we saw Mike Cooper's knee just buckled.
Like a buckle in a
Maybe his foot stuck in the turf, and I wasn't actually particularly looking at that point because I was obviously watching the ball. But I did notice him go down in a bit of a heap, and you can see on the replay that his leg does buckle, and his foot catches in the turf.
Yeah. Kieran stays out there, takes some strapping to his knee. He doesn't kick goals.
No.
And we'll talk about the spine change in a minute because it was around the 20-25 minute mark that Wigan scored. It was the December try. And as they came back to the middle, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Field was just stretching.
I
He
didn't
was on the floor stretching.
The first thing I noticed was Walters is coming on. That must be for Thompson. And then the guy said Walters on for Jay Field.
Yeah, so he was lied on the floor, almost hands on his chest, like stretching out his hamstring. And I went, oh, I didn't see him do anything. Didn't think much of it. I just thought maybe it's just a stay warm thing because it was a little bit colder or whatever.
Yeah, bit of cramp or whatever.
Yeah, and a minute later he's being subbed off. Now Matty Pete's come out and said it was just tightness, and it's not best not to risk him.
I really hope it is just tightness.
Hopefully.
We'll soon see, won't we, whether he plays this week or not.
We'll find out what the squad's announced, won't we? But that is probably the thing with Field, that you know he's had that run of games, the history of his injuries, and it's probably not worth him playing on, especially so early on in the season. If it was a knockout game, it was a semi-final, final like we saw at the Challenge Cup, he'd probably play on.
Well, Challenge Cup final, he probably did more damage by playing on, but he won us the game, so he needed to play on. And the other times it's happened, it happened.
Lee twice.
Lee
chasing Charnley, and then Lee in the first game.
Bending down, picking up for a ball, trying to pick a ball up.
Yeah, so that's frustrating, but you know what? If it's a precaution and it means he misses 2 weeks rather than 8 to 10, you're going to have to take it with a pinch of salt, really.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do, isn't it?
Put him up in Cotton Wool this week and see if he goes to Headingley.
Yeah. Next up was Cade Ellis.
Well, I'm sure Bevan French took a knock during this game. He didn't look himself.
Well, I was going to say that there was talk that he took a knock. There's been talks that he's been ill in the week and hadn't been training. Me and you said to each other, Lewis, that he looks just a little bit off pace. If you've been ill for a week, then you know what, you're going to be a little bit off pace.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
But he's played and he's been picked, so there's no excuse there.
Yeah, the Ellis one,
like a head or neck, wasn't it? He did go off for head injury assessment, which it's been confirmed he did pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I don't know if it was a head, neck or...
Well, I think Kieran was also down again at this point, but was up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And Ellis wasn't, so that's a concern, obviously.
Well, talking about that, it's very similar to, you mentioned it a minute ago before we got on the podcast, was similar to the December one, where he hit the floor and they didn't move him at all.
Yeah, the damage was really when he hit the floor.
But they kept him still, and this was the thing with Cade. He didn't move.
No.
Normally, sometimes they rule out a neck injury and sit him up a little bit. They keep him to the floor, and they're checking more the neck than the head. And you obviously have to do the concussion protocol anyway, because it's all related and it's all close.
You know who else that happened to? Charnley.
Yes.
Where he said, he's passed his head test, but his neck is injured, so he has to come off.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
was he scoring a try or saving a try or
I
something?
think he was scoring and he ended up doing a bit of a flip, didn't he?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. So that happened. Now, with all that going on, it led to a bit of a change of the spine, probably around 30, 35 minutes, and it led to Bevan going to full-back,
Yeah.
Kieran into half-back, and Farrell to centre. Looking back at it now, and we discussed at half-time, I think I'd have done it slightly differently, but you know what, I'm not sat up there making the call.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you say, well, maybe Eckersley could go as a full-back and then Kieran could go on the wing.
Yeah.
Maybe. We've seen that before. Maybe. I just feel a bit for Eckersley because he's moved around a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it feels like this week he might end up playing full-back. So it's hard as well that when you're not getting consistency, because they are different roles. You know, people say, sometimes centre, it's just one more out on.
No, it's a big difference.
Line, but it is defending the kick returns. It is different. It's very different, and fullback's even different.
It's difficult
again,
when you're someone who can play 1 to 5 to use the squad numbers or to play all along the back line, the back five.
Utility back.
To be that is a very difficult job.
Yeah.
I would say more difficult than someone who can fill in at the various middle forward positions.
Yeah.
Someone could do 9, 13, 9 maybe not, but 13 and prop. Feels like a lot easier than centre to wing to me.
Even with prop maybe to second rower, you're defending a little bit further out and you've got a smaller fella coming at you, but you're still dealing with the same challenges. I just want to throw in that with Eckersley. Not only is he out of position on the wing, he's now covering for Liam Farrell, who's not a centre, and who's covering for an injured Adam Kieran.
Well, that's the difference. people always rage at wingers when they bite in and ball goes over the top of them. We do it to a lot of teams, and nobody rages about them. When you don't trust your inside partner, it's impossible. And that was what we were here. We were shuffling inside partners. We were moving wings. You've got an injured guy defending 2 in. Must have been tough.
And I think you've also got to credit Hull FC.
Oh, yeah.
And especially the halfbacks for getting the ball out there, because they knew they were getting looked down that side for that reshuffle. Wingers and centres bited in that Martin on their wing had a field there. Ended up scoring a hat-trick, didn't he? But I think you've got to give credit to them for just saying, you know what, they spotted a weakness and they exploited it really well. And you know what? We'd have done the exact same thing.
It's not only the exploiters. How many metres did they make down that side? Yeah. So it wasn't just they went out there for a shot at the line and you're asking them to make one defensive decision. We were making 3 and 4 every set.
I think they went touchline to touchline, really. They kept on going east to west, and they knew
that's
down
the way
middle,
to beat Wigan. That's the only way you can, really.
Yeah, down the middle, they were strongly said, you know what, the back line's all disjointed. Let's just get to those edge players, and very rarely did they go down the middle. It was very much hot potato stuff from them, offloads and passes, getting it out wide.
And Aiden Caesar looks like a different player to the one we saw at Leeds.
Yeah, he does. Coming into his own.
I mean, you've got to say, if they can keep this team healthy, they've got to be a shout for Wembley, because they could beat anybody playing like this.
Well, I think we should probably say it, to be fair, because we're going to review the game and go through the tries in a second, but I think before we do anything, we have to give credit to Hull FC. I think they played a very good game.
Yeah.
The fans travelled in good numbers down to Wigan. Yeah. They were loud all the way through. And you know what? It's one of those, you've got to say. I know a lot of people when they're leaving the stadium, maybe this was frustration at Wigan, maybe it's a true statement, but just went, you know what? Better team won than that.
Yeah. It's a bit like when Salford came here in the playoffs in front of all us, and it was like, you're crushed and the world's falling in for you, but they've got the best moment in years and years and years. And to diminish that would be wrong of us.
No. I always look at it, there's 2 ways to lose in there. One where you play awful and you sort of give it to them. We didn't play that bad. We weren't great. We weren't at our defensive best or free-flowing best. But we weren't making it easy for Hull.
No, they
took advantage of
a
situation. And they were probably the better team for 60 minutes.
I think if you compare it to Hull away last season, where we had a very strong team, but just played horrendous and could not catch a ball. That was frustrating, because you just looked at that and went, what the bloody hell's going on here? Where I think this one, like I said before, because there's reasons for it, I don't want to kind of make excuses, but that there's context behind it. It's not like you've put your best team and they've all had an absolute shock and couldn't catch a cold. Like, you know, there's stuff going on which kind of is an explanatory factor for why we've lost this game. And I can cope with that.
You know what? Said it's probably the perfect storm. If you're a Hull FC involved in the coaching side of it, to be 20 points behind, and then suddenly you see that Wigan have picked up 3, 4, maybe 5 injuries. They've had a massive shuffle, and you're in a knockout game where it doesn't really matter if you leak points. At half time, you must be saying, listen, let's just go and enjoy it.
You've got a license. About Aiden Caesar, you've got a license to play whatever you want.
Yeah. Go and prove that you're Super League. You're still Super League quality. You're not past your best like people called out. Herman Essiese, this is a free hit. Go and run over him. So Rapana, get involved, do what you want, sort of thing. Hardacre was popping up everywhere. So suddenly there's no fear. You lose to Wigan, you lose to Wigan. It's how many teams have lost to Wigan in the past 2 years?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. So there's almost no negative to playing, and you don't even have to worry about points difference.
No.
If you're saying suddenly it's a league game, there's points difference, so you don't want to get battered, you might still be a little bit more conservative. It's almost the perfect setup for them, and they took full advantage of it.
They did, and on another day, one of those long passes over the top goes over Lewis Martin's head, or the kick doesn't quite get regathered, or the Luke Thompson plays the ball properly and we score on the left. There's things that could go different.
Because the pat down falls to him rather than a 6 again.
Yeah.
Should we get into the game then?
Yeah, we should.
We open the scoring in the 3rd minute. That Wigan play really shape set up. Smith takes the ball from Lehman, tries to cut out French, and actually it's intercepted by Caesar, the best player when it's open play. Bevan French looks up and finds a pass to Kieran. Kieran does what every good centre does, draw his full back and give it out to Eckersley, who opens the scoring, and suddenly it's 4-0 after 4 minutes. There's not really much to say about that. That's a bit of French magic from shape, and then playing what you see. I don't want to say eyes up footy, but that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered it before, didn't we? There was a late hit from Rapana.
Yeah.
Late, shoulder to the head. It was a bit of a weird one. No, Matty, you said you noticed this. I didn't. Watching the game live, I didn't see it. All the Wigan players kind of went over, made a deal of it, grabbing Rapana or running straight to the referee or anything like that.
So there was no video ref, I don't think, to check it anyway, was there?
There was no video ref to review it, so I can see, again, I can see why it's gone missed. Doesn't kind of justify it, but it's one of those, it is what it is.
He's copped a penalty for it anyway, right?
Yeah, he's got, is it 3.5 points or
3.5
something?
points,
No,
yeah.
they do points, don't they, instead of bans or whatever.
You know, if you're Hull's coach, you're actually thinking, I'm not too bothered, he's picked 3.5 points up. Because he'll get banned somewhere down the road, but actually we've won a Challenge Cup game and that injury won't have helped. I'm not saying he, but you sort of go, actually, we got away with one there. Bloody lucky, we got away with it, but it's helped us in the long run. It is a weird aspect playing two Super League clubs without a video ref. It's not something we're used to anymore.
No.
Would you keep it? The no video ref? It was quicker, the game. And there was no laying down looking at the screen for a replay.
Well, there weren't any close calls with the tries, were there? So you could say if there was a close try, like there was a few close tries at Vegas.
Yeah.
They needed a video ref in Vegas. There was so many close tries.
I think if you've got the facilities, you need it. If it leads to the right decision getting made, then...
They're not bad, the video
all
refs,
for
really,
it.
are they?
No.
They're not that terrible like VAR is in football, where there's something every game almost where it goes wrong. And even if they get the decision right, it takes too long. Where video refs usually seem to be okay.
I was going to say, the criticism of video refs is they just take a bit too long.
Yeah, but in our sport, it's not that bad really compared to others. I'm thinking about that football game yesterday where that goal Liverpool scored. What was a goal when you first viewed it?
Yeah.
And they had to view it for 5 minutes.
I actually think it's worse when you're watching the video ref on TV because you can hear them. And you can see, like, they've got the ball down and they're like, I've got another angle on that, please. And you're like, come on.
But the problem I've got is...
you can see.
The problem I've got is they ask for another angle and inevitably it's the wrong one, or it takes 4 years to get the angle right. Then he goes, right, you've gone too far now, you have to send it back. And it must be frustrating for the video ref.
Yeah.
I know there was that time where they cut to the camera and Ben Thaler was like doing it on the screen himself and he was controlling all the replays, which was a bit gimmicky, but it just feels like they asked for a camera angle and it's the wrong one and then they just got to make do with it, or it's gone too far, it's not slow enough, it's not freeze framed. It just feels like they're over there.
They always say, take it back, just take it back.
Just take it back. And it must be frustrating.
Yeah.
I just want to watch that camera that's there from that moment,
But yeah, 4-0, Harry Smith. Wouldn't have been expecting the kicking duties, and he's not got an easy one to start with.
Needs to be ready to kick. Obviously, Hull KR have lost their goal kicker for long term, haven't they? So they need to both be practising, which Pete said they were both practising.
Yeah, listen, he's not got an easy one there from Eckersley. Right on touchline.
It's kept up our trend of whenever Harry kicks them, they're difficult kicks.
But it was 5-6 minutes later on the 10th minute, leave into French, and French does what he does, just makes people miss. Gets a little bit of open space and a good ball to Eckersley.
Amazing offload to Eckersley.
It was, yeah.
Eckersley tries to draw Rapana. He does. But the winger, Harvey Barron, gets back and stops Lehman back on the inside. Worth mentioning these two young wingers. They had a really, really good game at our place this time last year, towards the back end of last year. Lewis Martin has obviously scored the hat-trick in this game. Harvey Barron, I thought, had a very good game defensively.
Yeah, I think they've tied them both down long term. And people are rightly suggesting that we should keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Which is a shame England Knights doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. You thought it'd be
It's a shame England doesn't seem to be a thing
Well,
anymore.
England have got matches this year, apparently. But England Knights, do you think they'd be perfect, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think this is the way forward, though, Hull, as well. Like, the new signings, obviously, a lot's been made of those, but I think all those young players you had your Bright Spikes, your two wingers, you've got that Berntheth, who's the 9, who seems quite good. Bring them through as well. Like, don't just forget about them and go to the market. You've got some good kids in a good academy set up. Make sure you use it.
The other young lad who came off the bench, he came off the bench because
Morley,
Barron picked up an injury. Rapana or Hardacre went to the wing and the other stayed at centre. I can't remember which way around it was particularly. But Moy came on, he looked lively and
He's looked quite good every time I've watched him going forward.
yeah, listen, it's a different thing doing 25 minutes at full
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and coming on to change a game and get points. And we'll see more of him. But you know what? The signs were there that I was impressed with him. From the Lehman tackle, Eckersley finds Cade Ellis. Cade Ellis to Harry Smith, who steps around Cust, finds the line, and then finds Jay backing up. And Harry Smith's got a kick, probably 6 or 7 yards in field. That's 8-0. And Harry Smith converts to take it to 10. After 15 minutes, probably happy with that. Happy with the start, 2 tries
Yeah, delighted, yeah.
into the game.
Yeah, going well. Besides the Kieran knock.
Bill beside the Kieran knock. Now, this next try is where I think Jay picks up his injury. From our own half, Lehman again to Ellis to Smith. Smith through a gap. With December running that short ball line, you just isolate defenders. Cust doesn't really know who to take.
He's put some size on Junior, but he still put the burners on for this try.
It's his shoulders that have gone out.
We've seen him score tries before. Not really from this sort of range. And to say he's got bigger, then he's still sprinted.
Yeah.
What is the 30 metres at least away from outside backs to score and finish that one off. There's not many second rowers. Well, there probably is a few second rowers, but not that size who could score this.
Yeah.
That's a try we're accustomed to seeing Liam Farrell score.
Yeah.
Where, they might be catching him with those 15 more metres, but he's got to score. That is a big man to be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smith finds December backing up on the inside. And just watch the replay there. You can just see Field
wave.
Not really pull up in agony, but just holds his hamstring. There's a bit of a twinge. And as December's scoring, he's waving for a little bit of support, really.
Assistance.
Stays at 16 points to 0 for a while then. In the 27th minute, Hull get on the board.
There's an
That's similar
overwhelming number of tackles that we had to defend. The boys had to defend there.
Oh, we made a couple of mistakes early on in
There's a couple of
sets.
6 against, a couple of penalties, a couple of mistakes. I think we'll come off the back of a mistake, yeah. So the unforced errors that the lads had to defend then, and then also just weight of tackles.
Yeah. Hull put a bit of a play out to the left-hand side, get tackled by Eckersley and Kieran. When they come back on the inside, the tackle after, there's an offload, a quick play of the ball, and a crash over from Herman SASA.
It's tough to start from there.
Tough to stop one-on-one. I think December tries to join the tackle at the end, but Dupree one-on-one is not stopping anyone really there. And it's tough. 16 points to 6. Wigan get a penalty. Go for the power play. Through the hands, Liam Farrell at centre crashes over.
Well, are we on 17 points? Oh, we took 2, didn't we?
We took 2.
And then it already gave us 1 on the screen.
Yeah. Liam Farrell crashes over Tom Briscoe.
Yeah.
22 points to 6. Smith misses that conversion again, 3 or 4 out from the tough them. It's what I always think, maybe if you're 5 out or less than that, then it's a bonus if you kick it. Anything further in than that, you should convert. Now, the second half, 22 points to 6. And it's 5 minutes in. And we throw an intercept. Now, in Vegas, Matty, you said if that's French's intercept for the year, you're happy. Now, if that's Harry Smith's intercept for the year, I'm less happy because we haven't won, but
I couldn't believe Eckersley caught him.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought he was gone. I didn't think Eckersley was going to catch him.
no.
But he did, to be fair to him. And this is so frustrating, this one, because we do the hard part. We actually get back. So many times, and we saw it in the first half when we made the break ourselves and then scored on the left and it was easy. So many times, they're out of position and it's easy to score on the left-hand side. We did the hard part. We got the numbers across and it's a bad miss. We should have made him score in the corner.
Yeah.
It's a bad miss, this.
They come right to left after Barron had been caught. And we do get back to a position of a bit of a 4-on-3. And as soon as I saw him step, it was Amir Burra step on the inside. I thought, he's blown this. Wigan should deal with it.
Yeah, I thought we'd blown it as well.
But he does really well. He busts through the tackle of Smith and Farrell. They sort of collide into each other. Eckersley can't keep him up. And suddenly, Caesar misses the conversion, and it's 22 points.
Upfield is so good at that.
Yeah.
Just to hold on to the ball. And it's 22 points to 10. Now on the 50th minute, Hull FC go down to 10.
12.
Sorry.
Yeah, John Asiata smacked someone in the head. The ref spotted it, gave a penalty, and then he gobbed off. So,
After already gobbing off.
well, I don't,
It wasn't him, but he told Caesar about them gobbing off. And
this was just. I would be so frustrated if this had cost Hull the game, which it could very well have done. Then this would have been really, really frustrating for Cartwright because there's absolutely no reason to do it. You've got away with staying on the pitch after the high shot to then answer back. You know you can't do it.
Yeah.
But it baffles me how it still happens. You know you can't do it.
it's weird, isn't it? You would imagine, like in football, if they suddenly brought a rule in that said if you gobbed off to the referee, you're getting a yellow card. You would expect for 6 months all the players to still be picking up yellow cards because they're not used to that rule.
Well, we've been there. We have that rule. We play games under that rule,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating at times. But you've got to be smart about it.
I think frustration was building over here because I think Kendall missed a couple of, for both teams, I think he missed a couple. There was a couple where there should have been 6 agains blown because someone on the opposite team got a hand to the ball, so therefore it should have restarted, and it didn't. I think that happened one each for both teams.
It did happen one each, yeah. I remember.
There was a couple of again 6 again calls where I think players were a bit kind of, what was that for? And I think frustration was kind of boiling over a couple. That doesn't excuse it. Again, you are right, Matty. You know the rules. Be professional. Don't cost your team 10 minutes going down a man. But I think that was a contributing factor. I think there was a lot of frustration at the referee from both sets of, from both camps.
Yeah, it's just we've spoken before, haven't we, about that there's yellow cards and there's yellow cards.
No, there's no excuse for it.
When it's for dissent, it is just
soft. It's soft.
Yeah. It's giving the other team a leg up that you don't need to give them.
It's soft. I don't think it comes from out of nowhere. I think it was boiling over a little bit, and I think both teams were getting a bit frustrated with some of the decisions not going their way or going against them.
Now, this yellow card, it's not often that we say this, but we actually struggle when there's been a yellow card in this game.
Yeah, it's not usual for us.
Usually, we are pretty decent at either winning a yellow card period, whether it's us down to 12 or the opposition down to 12. And this time, we were dominated in this 10-minute period.
We created an overlap a couple of times.
Again, a right to left shift.
We did make one chance where Wardle got outside someone. I think we got one chance out of it. That's the only time I can think where we actually made a chance.
This was the part of the game, and I said to you at full time, Tom, and I do stand by this, that I think it was the first time I saw where we didn't handle a game well. They started going hot potato with offloads and going east to west, like we said before, going to the sideline. And I'd have loved for someone to step up, probably Harry Smith being your 7, being the general as we call him, and just, when we're down at their end, take the ball, drill it in touch, force a scrum, slow it down, and just take the sting out of the game.
He does it 95% of times.
Yeah, and I don't think we did this game. We needed it. We tried to match him. We started throwing passes that weren't on. We tried to match this kind of try and score in every single play, and we didn't need to. We're 12 points up. Well, obviously they've just scored now, so it's going to change. And we're going to go to
I think we were 8 points up.
8-6, whatever it might be. But there was no need to kind of imagine. We weren't chasing the game. The game was ours to win. Drill it in touch. Do whatever. Slow them down. Don't let them play quick and just take the sting out of them.
No, you're right.
The momentum.
You're right.
Do you think there was a mentality there of, if we score again, they can't get 4? At this point, there's 25 minutes and you got the 3.
We just played, to me, like a team that was chasing a game. And I was like, we weren't. We're 8 points up. Like, there's nothing. And I get there's time left on the clock, but just professionalism, kill the game off, drill a ball in touch, but force a repeat set, a dropout or something. Just really take the sting. And it's easier said than done, because the momentum against you, it's hard.
Yeah.
When you are playing and you've not got the momentum, it is difficult.
It's tough to play though, especially as a 7.
100%. But I think that was something we could have just done. I think we should have took the sting out of them and slowed them down a little bit. And I don't think we were good at managing the game there.
When we got down there with that chance from Wardle, could we have taken a 1? Make it 13? It's tough because it's so early, isn't it?
Well, psychologically, it would have been.
They
It
always
would have took a minute out at game.
Yeah, they always talk about
You get the ball back.
don't drop the goal early because then you're shutting up shop. But I don't think that necessarily has to be true. I think if you get a chance to go from 2 to 3 scores, you take it.
I think we didn't turn a penalty down there, did we?
No, we didn't.
No. I'd have definitely took 2.
I don't think we got any chances.
I don't think we had any chances. I think the only penalty we got was in our own half.
It was the Asiata one where we were on our own line.
Harry Smith probably should have bossed that game a little bit better. You know what? I think he knows it. He'll have known it. He'll have watched the video now. I don't think he'll make that mistake again.
Was it Thompson who said something like that? We'll just have to watch it back and see where we can go from here.
And it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? Like,
We've lost games before, and
last week he kicked 2 5-20s.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Same
he
game
bossed,
and
he bossed
whatever.
it,
So
bossed it against Vegas as well. So
he did.
at Vegas, sorry, not against Vegas. But the response here is going to be crucial.
It is.
We've got 4 big games now. Now, is it going to be a loss that we compound next week by going to a place we've not traditionally gone to and won a lot and play poorly, or are we going to go and steamroll the next 4 games?
Yeah, I'd love
So,
to.
now, if we go and steamroll the next 4 games, I don't say steamroll because we're playing some good teams in that time, but if we go and win and play well in the next 4 games...
If we get 4 from 4.
We'll have played well. And I don't know what the injury situations are going to be. I don't know what the squad's going to look like. If you know, those 4 Aussies don't play, we're a completely different side, as any side would be when you take away 4 of their imports. But if there's a chance there, if we go on a run now, which we have done in the past after defeats. If you think about the last time we lost in the Challenge Cup, we then won the next 13 or 14 straight games. I'm not suggesting we're going to do that, but that's the sort of thing that we could do now. We could go and win a load of games back to back. We could go and put some points on the next 2 teams. We could play some good rugby. It's just a question of if we then bounce back properly.
Definitely. I'd love just to see Harry Smith just boss it in the first 5 minutes next week. Just drill one into touch at 40.
Well, he's had an unbelievable game at Leeds 2 years ago and a terrible game at Leeds last year where, he ended up getting sent off. So, hoping for the form.
55 minutes, Hull FC score. Again, that big shift right to left. 3 really big passes. Finds Martin in space. He steps back inside. Past 3 or 4 defenders. French tries to tackle him one-on-one on the line. Again, really tough. I think this one frustrated me more than anything.
Yeah.
When he gets the ball and watching it on the replay, I still don't think he should score from there.
No.
And that's my frustration.
And to say
point.
they've got an extra man.
Yeah, they're down a man.
He took in his touchline, which any good winger would do in that situation.
Who throws the ball to him? Is it Coast or Moya?
Caesar.
Is it Caesar?
No. Who throws that ball is
Him, isn't it? I can't see that.
it's Costa.
Is it Coast? I mean, it's a brilliant ball because we're just watching this on the iPad now as we're recording it, and he sees that Exley's going for I think it's the fullback looping round the centre and in the hard line. And from there, he's just able to float it over the top when Eckersley's caught in a bit of no man's land trying to take the guy on the inside. So it's a brilliant pass again. You got to give credit where it's due.
Maybe missed Abbas' defence there.
Yeah. We have a good chance on the 70th minute. Sam Walters gets pushed into touch.
Yeah. Well, we do
We
it to
do
a
it.
lot of teams. The rolling maul.
Yeah, a little bit of a frustrating one, really, that he doesn't find ground, sort of gets held up.
Such a big fella, though, and he's such a tall lad that he's going to get knocked back like that when he runs in so tall.
And that's on the 70th minute. If he finds ground there...
Even so, he's been dragged out into touch. He's not been dragged dead. He's been dragged into touch, so they've got 6 tackles from the 10-metre line.
Yeah.
You should back yourself with a set line to defend that.
I would say, I think it's that set. They put a play on in their own half. A bit of a scoot around. Cust takes the tackle. And then they put that big play on again.
This is what I mean about going west to east. They've just put on a bit of a play to get to the right-hand side of the pitch. Then Tuaziata passes it to Caesar. Caesar, a little chip kick over to the... So they was targeting the edges. Nothing went down the middle. Everything was going to the edges. Just exploiting a weakness.
That kicking behind from Caesar, perfectly weighted.
It was, again, a good kick. You've got to give credit where it's due. It was a good play.
He gets one-on-one with French and does French on his outside. Not something that...
French shows him the outside and he just burns him,
He does well. Eckersley, he's trying his best to get back. Takes the man on the inside. And he just beats French, holds him up.
It's a really good move.
It's that running and then drift out, sort of stand the fullback still and then take him on the outside. Big kick from Caesar, that right from the touchline.
Yeah, I suppose it just meant that...
Left-hand side for a left foot too as well.
Yeah, I suppose it just meant that the penalty was in play. It didn't get them level, but it just meant the penalty was in play then. I suppose it did make it more of a difficult situation.
Just to keep the momentum
again.
going, isn't it? The fans get another reason to do a
touchline kicks and always send the crowd up.
But that's the thing now. You score and you're winning and you don't actually have to convert a difficult kick, which we end up seeing. They put a big shift onto the right-hand side. A Caesar kick sort of finds no one. Kick down the line. And Wardle, I thought he was tackled.
Yeah, I think he was, because he was in the field of play and then they pushed him over once he was down, which...
I would like to see if we'd have had a captain's challenge.
You're not supposed to be able to do that. Yeah, if we had a captain's challenge available, could we have challenged that and won it? Probably yes. We would have been successful. The other one that people are talking about, we would have been unsuccessful because the incorrect play of the ball from Thompson would not have been overturned.
No.
But that one probably would have been because the ball carrying on was down and Hardaker then lifted him and threw him over the sideline, which you're not allowed to do.
Yeah. That means to get the ball back in our own at the 10-metre line.
At that point, I knew we'd lost. At that point, when he gives that as Wardle in touch, I knew we'd lost.
I'm not going to say exactly the same.
Just with how they've cut us open so many times, and we then made a desperation move to put Marshall over onto the right hand side. Just felt like we were in our own heads defensively there on that side.
Yeah,
it's never a good sign that when you switch your wingers, is it?
Not at all. It's weird. I would have almost been tempted.
Keep it the same.
Yeah, keep it the same, and maybe switch Wardle out there to help Kieran, and put Farrell with Smith and Marshall, because we have switched Kieran and Wardle before.
Yeah,
we've put Farrell on the left hand side a few times. Farrell played most of his career as a left sided player. When he went to centre, was usually at left centre. So that might have been a different switch, but it's tough in the moment to make that call. They get the tackle. They get the ball back. Play right to left again. Caesar, big pass out.
First tackle
to Martin. Slides in the corner, and that shows how crucial that kick was, because he doesn't convert.
Well, he does get it.
Oh, sorry, he converts.
He does get it, but he didn't need to for them to be winning.
Yeah, so that takes it to 24 points to 22. He converts it to make it 26, and now Wigan actually need to...
We used up one of our annual get the ball back from a short kick-off, which we're notoriously dreadful at. We used it.
I tell you what, if we hadn't used it, we would have been the biggest side ever to not get the ball back.
We loaded up on that side.
December, Walters, Eckersley.
I know, I was thinking just please kick it 10 now. We've got the enormous giants over on that side.
Yeah. And then we have the Thompson play, the ball incident.
It's an unbelievable run. First tackle, he's trying to get a quick play of the ball. He falls over the man. I don't think this would get overturned if we had...
No, but
I don't think it's an incorrect play of the ball because the man does make him fall over.
the thing is he would have. I think they would have stuck with the referee's decision. It would have been given inconclusive. But we'd have already used that captain's challenge successfully 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah, so you never know, do you?
So that incident doesn't happen then.
Yeah.
But I think that would have carried on with referee's decision. I don't think you can overturn it off the evidence there. But again, if we'd have scored from that play...
We deserve to go through. It's that thing you always have. Whenever you score a late try to win it, you deserve it. If we'd scored there, we'd have deserved to win.
Yeah.
I'm fully of that belief. If we'd scored...
I'd still be walking away saying we got away with one.
We might have got away with one, but we'd have deserved to win.
Yeah.
If we'd have scored there. And we didn't score, so we didn't deserve to win. Hull did.
Yeah. That wraps the game up. 26 points to 22. Hull take the ball away for the last minute.
We had that one last chance where we went left and Eckersley went through with the kick in behind for Eckersley. He went through, then they scrambled.
And then they threw it back to Farrell.
We ended up throwing it about on the last play, and that never works.
Has Farrell's kicking
License
licence?
never works. That never works.
He proper slices it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But that's the end of the game. 26 points to 22. I think Caesar got man of the match at the game, didn't he?
I would have given it to him if he didn't.
I'm sure I saw he got interviewed by
I would have given it to him.
I think so, yeah. Would have been him, wouldn't it?
And Hull FC progress.
Yeah.
We bow out. We have to go back to the chalkboard, look at things, freshen some things up. And get ready for Leeds on Saturday.
Yeah, that's it.
Hopefully.
When I was on the train home, I had a moment where I thought, I can't wait for Leeds on Saturday. And I bet the players are thinking the same thing. They just want to put it right, don't they? The players we've got are going to want to put it right straight away. I can't wait for Leeds on Saturday because I really want to see how the team responds. They've responded well in the past. We trust this coaching staff more than I think I've ever trusted a coaching staff ever. And so I really want to see the response. I want to be excited by the response now for the next few weeks.
My first thought was I'd love to get on the coach now, drive to Leeds and we'll play him right now. And just go at them. We take 17 fit players, obviously, but just play him straight away because you could just tell it would have upset him and hurt.
I think so. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the squad is, obviously, so we'll get a bit of a rundown on the injuries and how we're looking.
Yeah.
And then I think from there, it's just a case of putting it right, like you said, but I think the players will. I think they'll be up for it. They'll be into Leeds early on.
What day will it be out? It's called Thursday? Wednesday?
Thursday. Is it normally Tuesday for Friday?
Can't remember.
Be out midweek.
Team list Tuesday is the NRL thing, isn't it? Where you actually say who's playing.
Can I just say, if we could take one thing from the NRL, other than the bunker, I would take that.
Well, it's going to be like the Romans, isn't it, from Monty Python? If we could only take the bunker, the team list Tuesday, NRL 360. What else has the NRL done for us? Captain's Challenge.
But I just love that it's a bit of a build-up and every team goes out at 12 o'clock rather than...
Yeah, every team goes out at 12 o'clock on Tuesday and they're named, they're starting 13, they name the bench.
Then there's a talk about it. And
if there's a change,
it.
Yeah. So you know who's starting.
Obviously, they pick up an injury, they can change it and whatever, but you know what the idea is. Because most games it's like that, isn't it? Most games.
You know who's going to play anyway.
You look at the team and go, them four will be on bench.
Yeah.
But it just makes it more official and better.
And you can do things where you change the 17th, 18th man or change the 19th man on the bench or whatever, which is always interesting.
Didn't Cleary do it once where he came out wearing number 21?
Yeah, because he was coming back from injury.
Yeah. Right, we'll take a quick break though. We'll come back with the news. Before we go into our news section, I'm going to send it over to you, Matty, to tell me what's caught your eye this week in Rugby League.
Yeah, well, they're all from down under this week because only the two games were on television for us. So what caught my eye was Player of the Week we'll give to Matty Nicholson, former Wigan product, made his debut for Canberra off the bench. Did he make his debut?
Yeah, he came off the bench.
And immediately scored with his first touch. Then he scored the second try as well for the side. So it was with his great mate Morgan Smithies, who both played great in that game. They got another win. So
it was nice to see Morgan Smithies giving the shirt out.
2 from 2 now for Canberra. good young players they've got at Canberra at the minute. Lots of good young players. I know that Hosking, I bigged him up last time. He played great again. He got injured, unfortunately, in this game. But Ricky Stewart can get the best out of young players, can he? He's always been able to do that.
Some debut for Nicholson. 2 tries on debut, as the Addis would say.
Yeah, definitely. The try of the week, I'm going to give to West Tigers. I would give it to Lockie Galvin, who scored it, but really it was just a team try. And he starts off with Jerome Buller receiving the ball from a kick and stepping past a few. He waits till the perfect moment to release Adam Dewey down the left, and bit of a risk on 0 tackle, kick back in field. Lockie Galvin picks up and scores. If it's well worth a watch, that try.
So there's a lot less criticism over there if you make a mistake trying to get a try.
Yeah. If you try and score a try, you can. They forgive the mistake, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, another. Well, it was a good performance again from West, but this time they got the win. I know they played well in round 1 and lost. They got the win this time. Happy for Benji.
Happy for Benji.
He didn't win very much last year. The last few years, not won very much.
Was against Para.
Yeah, it was against Para. Yeah, but
They're not very good.
No.
Yeah,
Only
but
beat what's in front.
you can only beat what's in front of you. Exactly. I mean, Zach Lomax took a pay cut to go to Para because he thought he would contend. And
Take a pay cut to play centre and lose more games.
yeah, yep.
It's an interesting decision, that, Zach.
Yeah. And the tackle of the week was from a very interesting game on Thursday, where it was a try saver on a Penrith winger in the last second of a game, which sounds familiar to Wigan fans. But it wasn't Jay Field on this occasion, it was Tupu from the Sydney Roosters, who made the tackle on Brian Toto and dislodged the ball as he was going for his flying finish. Really great tackle. Can be maybe a bit critical of Tango the centre. Could he have drawn Tupu a bit more before passing? But
He just gives him a chance.
you've got to give it up for the defence there. It was unbelievable defence. And when you're underdog, you have to defend like that and scramble defend well.
Well, we're talking about the NRL. There's been a few upsets, a few surprise results. New Zealand beating Manly.
Yep.
You could have guessed that. Souths and St George went to a a drop goal win for the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
The Raiders turning over Brisbane was a bit of a surprise, but
I told you, Ricky's got a good young team there and he's good with young players. Wherever he's been good with young players.
But that has got to be the biggest upset of NRL history, maybe. There has never been a bigger outside favourite to win a game. They were $9, the Roosters, to beat Penrith.
Well, there must be bigger odds than that. Just not for the Roosters. The biggest odds for the Roosters.
Biggest odds ever for a team to win a game.
Wow.
They had 50 put on them by Brisbane.
Yeah,
the week before.
I suppose.
And Penrith had already won, then had a week off. Everything was adamant that Penrith would win. And that's a ridiculous turnout. They weren't really missing anyone looking at the side. Penrith, so you can't even say they had 4 or 5 missing. The Roosters with, I think it's 4 players who haven't played 5 NRL games. Really young side. Struggled. Everyone's wrote them off for anything this year, and they turn up with one of the biggest performances.
Fantastic win, yeah. Credit to the Roosters and credit to all the players.
Right, Lewis. What's the news going around rugby league at the moment?
There's been a couple, so some people might know about, some people might not. First one I think everyone listening to this will probably know is that Sneed's been announced as going to Wire. From Salford. Good signing. English spine.
Yeah.
6 and 7, George Williams and Mark Sneed.
And you got your 9 is English as well. The 13 with Ben Curry
and Danny Walker.
and Danny Walker. So yes,
yeah, it's a good combination. Very good short kicker with the ball, very good long kicker with the ball.
I think it suits George Williams, doesn't it? It suits
It's
George
the perfect
Williams.
signing for George Williams. But it's a real interesting one. As to one, why Salford have let him go. Because clearly they need the money to get through the next couple of weeks. What do you think about the 2 young lads?
Well,
Ollie Leyland and Leon Hayes?
Well, Ireland seemed a bit out of sorts because didn't he get dropped?
He got battered
Last
by
week
December,
anyway.
didn't he?
he got dropped for Ratchford,
Yeah.
and I think Hayes is still quite a way away from returning. So Sneed, if you have a chance to get Sneed and you've got a championship contending window, you've got to get Sneed.
Yeah. Good as well for maybe the young lads to learn off Sneed. They've got
Maybe.
now 2 very good experienced halfbacks. They got the England captain, George Williams. Mark Sneed got an England call up last season, didn't he?
It's a good length of contract they've got him
So-
on. 18 months, so rest of this season and next season.
Yeah, you can bring one of your lads through that you decide which one's going to take over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good. All right, moving on to this one. Huddersfield, a couple of different news stories about Huddersfield. One is they are going to be playing at Halifax, whilst their new stadium is being built, essentially. So that's been confirmed, so they're going to be using Halifax.
The Shea, it's called, and they're actually playing their home game against us this year at the Shea.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to ticking that off my grounds list. I think Stereophonics. You're Stereophonics?
Yeah, Stereophonics.
Stereophonics are using the John Smiths at that time.
Yeah, so that's really good. Other news coming out of Huddersfield that they have signed 9/11s.
Yes, on loan.
It's a full back on loan.
Is it on loan?
It's on loan for the rest of the season.
Oh. I thought it was a permanent deal. What address?
Well, he might be out of contract, so it might be.
Yeah.
But he's on loan for the rest of the season.
And Kea have announced the signing of Morg from Catalan, Artur Morg. So I'm guessing obviously that's going to be like a kind of replacement Evans out of Morg in.
2028.
Yeah.
So they'd already signed him for 3 years, so it just becomes 3.5 years.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing to what we do with Mark Cooper, isn't it? You haven't signed, but you bring him in early because opportunities arise.
Interesting one for Catalan, though. I get it for KR.
Mm.
But and he'll be a good squad player and provide some backup to and probably compete with Broadbent. But for Catalan to let him go,
Yeah, really rated him, didn't they? He's like a bit of a flair player, a bit of an X Factor player.
even if he's leaving, you've got to still. I think you still got to use him this year, even if he's leaving.
The argument I would have is we obviously don't know what's going on in training.
No.
Has he just completely down tools? Because he's not made himself undroppable in the Catalan side. They brought Tompkins out of retirement.
French player, Danny Tools.
There's your joke, though.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? We don't actually know what's going on in the background there.
No, we don't.
And he may have just down tools. They might have said, let's move on and call it quits. Who knows?
I think they need him though.
But they brought Tompkins out of retirement. And then they played Cesar Rouge at
Tompkins
full-back.
can't play every match. He's back this week. He played this week against Featherstone. But
They're going to need to sign a full back now for me.
he needs to have something right now.
Well-
At the end of this year.
But they played Rouge over him, didn't they? At full back. And they've got Kiri and Farge as your half backs. I know there's no real flair in them two. But
You've got
They-
an
they were-
absolute
they
loose
weren't
cannon
picking
now,
him.
Alex Da Costa.
they weren't picking him, were they?
No.
He
We
was
need
a
a
bit of a-
replacement because they can't rely on Sam long term.
We can't rely on Sam. Well,
So if they don't, if
After
they
this
stick him
year,
in Rouge, fair enough. But I wouldn't be surprised if they next to sign him.
I'm amazed by him that he
full-back.
wasn't making it on the bench
a 2026 fullback signing.
to play at 9. I can't believe he was, because he played a bit at 9 last year, didn't he? When there was a few injuries and Mickey was injured.
I wonder, with Huddersfield signing Evans, where does that leave Gagai? Centre?
Yeah, maybe.
Or could he be going the other way? It's very early, isn't he? He's not played for them very long.
Yeah, maybe. Going out of Leeds, Hetherington has left his role at Leeds Rhinos. Jamie Jones Buchanan takes over that position.
Hetherington's going to do it part-time at London, 2 days a week.
Yeah, which is interesting.
The league needs a strong London, we've said before.
Yeah.
Or it would be good if they had a strong one. I don't think it needs it, but it would be good if it had one.
Whatever your opinions are on Gary Etherington, he does know how to run a rugby league club. And he's been there and done it.
And he's seen some success.
Yeah. Now, he might just be in there as a bit of an experience. Let's take it a little bit slower.
If Brisbane do end up buying him, then Hetherington might be a good go-between.
Yeah, he's got
You know,
experience.
he knows the league. He knows what it means to be successful. He's not going to be running the show, but he might be, he might be good for advice in that
Yeah.
regard.
If he's there as a bit of a consultor. And,
There's someone who knows the league, a bit of a go-between. He's also got a good relationship with the NRL because we know he's been there many times. He does a lot of recruiting sessions over there. I remember he went over for a while when they recruited Rowan Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that could be something to watch out for.
Yeah. Jamie Jones takes over. Is he? So was he player, coach? Was he head of inclusion and diversity or something? I don't know if that was with the AFL or with Leeds.
He's had some roles, hasn't he, John?
He's been in the back. He's sticking around with the club, anyway, which is good, I think. So I like Jonesy.
the thing I find about that is he already had a role at the club. I can't remember what he was doing beforehand. But I saw a lot of things about this is a perfect time to bring Sinfield back.
Well, yeah, but only if he wants to come back.
Only if he wants to come back.
He's got a good job, hasn't he?
But I think if you're moving Buchanan up, you've then got to replace his role anyway.
Well, yeah, because it's a promotion for Jim, for Jones Buchanan. So
And he's not been in that role particularly long.
Well, I seem to remember during COVID there was when Jimmy Jones was the acting head coach. When they announced a new head coach and he took a step back, he did a bit with all this culture. He made that rhino head, didn't it? Or I don't think he made it. He commissioned that rhino head that they've got now in the tunnel that symbolises the Leeds Rhinos.
Yeah, I'm sure his role is something like head of inclusion and diversity or something like that. It's something along those lines.
Good for Jones Buchanan though. I like him.
Yeah,
Good personality, and he's a good bloke to have in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Last couple of pieces now of news. So Ben Nakabuai has left Lee. Has been announced where he's going.
He's just going back to NRL.
Is it right? So he's going back home essentially.
He's going playing Queensland Cup or something like that.
That's safe.
The big thing with that is it leaves them a quarter spot.
It does. That was what I was about to go into. Yeah. So now obviously, you won't be surprised if Lee went in the market.
Well, there's the rumour mill flies. The rumour mill flies about Salford's players mainly.
Do you think this has got anything to do with the Sneed thing?
Because Sneed left.
The talk, but what I mean is the talk of if you're looking at what Lee needed, they probably needed a game controlling halfback and a prop forward.
What Lee needed,
especially with O'Brien's injuries now, and he's suffered a few head knocks. There is a little bit of a worry there. If you think you could get Sneed.
Is Lamb not your game controller?
But he can't do everything. You need someone alongside Lamb. Whether it's a halfback who's a fleur, attacking one or one that game controls. I think Lamb could probably do both. But he can't do both at the same time.
You've got Strike in your outside backs as striking them 3/4. And then you've got a bit of electricity at a fullback. So
what I mean with Sneed is if you think you can get Sneed, then you don't need the quarter spot.
What does Lamb want out of his 6? Lachlan and Adrian. And they will have asked that question, won't they?
Yeah.
But if you think you can get Sneed and he goes to Warrington, you're then probably going to have to look abroad, aren't you? There's not many else floating around.
No. Not immediately, no.
And with the way that they're playing, you probably think actually they have a chance of winning something here.
If they brought in a 6.
If they bring in a 6. I think they still need another prop forward. But I think it's easier to find an English prop forward than it is an English half.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Last couple of pieces of news now then. RFL have brought back Nigel Wood.
Yes.
In
a voluntary role.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, this one, isn't it?
Short term is at least initially. Short term, while he leads a review.
A systematic club review.
Yeah, it's very...
Have you seen the
necessarily entails?
Have you seen the statement from, which makes the Hetherington news weirder, but him and Beaumont have released a joint statement about why Nigel Wood is needed to lead this review, someone who knows rugby league.
Well, you can't say he doesn't know rugby league. He's been involved in it for many years.
They did pay him off for 320 grand about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was involved in selling Bradford, selling Mudsall.
He's got a vested interest in a few different clubs, which I thought we were getting away from. But I know he's been there in the past and it didn't end particularly well. And his time as chair isn't thought of very fondly. But maybe we've got to give him a chance.
Once you appoint him, you have to give him a chance because he's been appointed.
We've got to give him a chance.
I look at, it's reported that 2 clubs didn't vote for it. And that's Wigan and Warrington.
That worries me.
That worries me because they're the 2 clubs that have been the most progressive and the most looking forward. They're the ones that wanted to do Vegas. They're the ones that are wanting to spend money.
Well, think about what crowds are consistently on the up and consistently positive.
I do question why.
There's a few clubs, and Warrington and Wigan are 2 of them.
But then I think, why have Hull KR, Saints not voted with them? They're the 2 that surprised me. Really.
Well, and maybe Catalans.
And Catalans.
I don't know if they got a vote because I don't know. But yeah, that would surprise me.
Yes. And then, bit of breaking news, Challenge Cup next draw has been announced.
Yeah.
So, quarter-final games, we've got a couple of crackers to look forward to. First one, Hull Derby. Hull FC will play Hull KR in the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup, which obviously will make a cracking game. Especially now it should be more competitive, given Hull FC this season compared to seasons gone by recently.
Just on that fixture, it would be really funny if Hull FC win this game. After the comments about them beating us from Hull KR, and that effectively it's their tournament to win, I would really love it if Hull FC beat KR.
I can't see it, but yeah, it would be funny.
Right. Well, you got them two going at it. You got Wire and Saints. There's another quarter-final match.
That's another one. I mean, they're playing each other this weekend. And like I said before, this game, I don't really care who wins as long as the loser gets a lot of points put on them.
Yeah.
Because that would be funny.
That's such a strange setup, that game. I think Warrington's pack's better. Saints' pack's better, but I think Warrington's backs are better.
Saints have got a stronger bench if everyone's available.
So maybe it sounds, obviously, it gets to this stage anyway, it gets to the quarterfinals, semi-finals. But we're going to lose some big scalps. Do you know what I mean? Some big clubs that are getting knocked out of this competition next week.
Well, those are probably the four biggest teams remaining in the competition. Probably, definitely. In terms of fan base and success. Obviously, you could throw Lee in there for, the fans are going to travel.
Yeah. Well, Lee's got Wakefield.
At
Wakefield, I should say, yeah. And Catalans have got Salford.
Is there any one of them four games that you look at and go, actually, they'll definitely win? I don't think there's any one of them where you're going, I really fancy that.
Well, it depends. When are these games taking place? Because who knows what Salford are going to be in 2 hours, never mind, 2 months. It'll be next month, won't it? It'll be next.
It's not long. It's not far away.
So we know it's not in the next 4 weeks.
4th to the 6th of April.
Right, okay. Well, I don't know what Salford are going to be like by then.
So that's 2 weeks.
But I'll be back in Catalan at home anyway.
I'll be back in Catalan at home. I think I'd possibly favour Lee.
Yeah.
The other two.
But I think that'll be a good game, that one.
Yeah.
The other three will all be good games, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think hopefully all four.
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if they'll all be on television. They'll probably only be 2 on television, won't they?
I expect there'll be 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
Yeah, but only 2 of them will be on television, I think, which is a shame.
It's a shame.
Making good quarterfinals, though.
Yeah, some 4 good quarterfinals, though.
Yeah, some 4 good quarterfinals.
And with the absence of Wigan, then there's a lot more jeopardy of the competition, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, we can sit back and
more wide open.
Watch this as a neutral and just enjoy the rugby that's left on show in this competition.
Well, we know Tom's not going to be neutral for that first game. He'd give his game away there.
Well, I'm just looking at that. We play Hull KR the week after that.
Okay.
So we get a week off.
Okay.
To then travel to KR. And KR are going to be in a fight in a quarter final.
Yeah, okay.
So it's an interesting
That's really
time,
close,
isn't it?
There's only 2 Super League games between those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that's up the news, gents.
Yeah, good news.
Right, I'll take a quick break and then we'll talk about the other fixtures that happened this weekend. The Challenge Cup this weekend. 7 other games went on. We started over with St Helens versus Leeds. 22 points to 14. Saints end up winning. It was 6-2 to Saints at half time, so we're really close for first half. And then Saints edging it out in the second half. Not the most quality, but one of them, you just get a win. If you're Saints, you walk away happy with a win. Leeds will be disappointed. They made a few mistakes.
Bit hidden on YouTube, this one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it says much this game, to be fair. I think you'd expect Saints to win. They did. And you move on, don't you? Do you know what I mean? I think if Leeds would have won, it might have been a bit different. We might have said this was a bit of a shock upset. What's it going to do for Saints this season or whatever? I think this is just a case of, job done, Saints won. I think most people expect them to win. And
the big thing about Leeds is they can beat anyone on the day. They've got that much attacking quality. when you look at the squad, they've got Miller, Connor, Croft, Ackers. They've got points in them. It's now the consistency element for Leeds.
Yeah.
And putting that performance in every week. Have I heard right? Sorry. We probably should mention this in the news. Sam Lasoni apparently heading back to Australia.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. It was only a rumour from a Leeds account that I saw, but keep an eye on that.
Oh, yeah. Keep an eye on that. Did he play in this game? Do you know?
He played in this game. I saw a few tweets saying, "Get out of my club."
Oh, really? People turning on Sam Lasoni. I thought they wanted to dance with Sam Lasoni.
It's that thing of big man, short minutes, makes one game where he has 4 or 5
if you win,
massive carries.
Yeah, if you're winning,
and you lay a platform. If you lay a platform for him and you bring him on as the Mago role,
open the game wide open.
But at the moment, he's being used as a bench prop of a 2, and he's got to be doing more minutes.
Interesting.
Salford-Bradford. Salford win this game 26 points to 16. Bradford led 10-6 at half-time. It then got to 16 apiece. And 2 late-ish tries from Salford see him get through.
Yeah, with all the negativity around Salford at the moment, they are into the last 8 of the Challenge Cup. So, good for them. They won 2 games to get there.
That thing for Bradford that played well for 60 minutes and then just ran out of steam.
Yeah, it happens a lot, doesn't it? Championship versus Super League, it tends to be a bit of a kind of
You
a
normally see
recurring theme. That
you normally see it with the promoted side. And obviously there was the talks with Bradford coming if Salford got kicked out when we didn't know what was going on. We still don't know, but But with all the talk around Salford and then Sneed leaves out the blue, and can they change the 17 and can they change the 21-man squad because they're still under that sustainability cap? It was, could Bradford do them? And at 10-6, 16, you'd have possibly fancied Bradford. So a big win for
Chris
Salford.
Hill had to play the whole game. There was somebody else as well, one of the other forwards had to play the whole game. Can't remember another one of the big forwards had to play the whole game. Big shift from Chris Hill. That
and it's something he can do, but he can't do that every week.
No, you can't.
They really need it fixed ASAP to just get some extra players around him.
Yep.
Also on Friday, Hull KR hosted Oldham, 40 points to 0. It was 22 points to 0 at half time.
Yeah, I saw Sean Long was speaking about this one after the game. He said he knew it was going to be a tough day.
Yeah.
It's a good experience playing one of the best teams in Super League.
If you use that to try and get to late rounds of the 1895, I don't know if they're still in that, but hopefully they'll still be in that.
They use it to try and learn Nenny McDonald.
Well, yeah, that was an odd one. That he put a package together for Nenny McDonald. That was an odd one. I think that was odd.
We'll give you a very strong chance of getting promoted.
Well, he's done it before, hasn't he?
Yeah. Right, over to Saturday. All these games were 5 o'clock. We were 5:45. Catalans Featherstone, 46 points to 18. It was 14-6 at half time.
Yep. You know what I liked about this one? SI to Sam Tompkins. Sam back and with a bang, scoring a try.
A big win for this Catalan.
They just needed to win. They needed some points. And they got some points in this game, so...
I know they beat Leeds, but they weren't convincing in beating Leeds. And they've been poor in the rest of the season so far. So just getting through is one of them, and hopefully you can find some form for
they
the
didn't
quarters.
They didn't even play well against Halifax last time, so it's good that they played well in this game against Featherstone, who are similar level.
I think if you are a struggling Super League team, you draw a Championship team in a fixture like this, it can actually just allow you to build a bit of momentum, can it? You score against a bit of an easier opposition, like you're saying, a bit of fitness differences, and rather than just keep getting smashed every week or whatever, in a bad run of form, you're lacking confidence, gives you a chance to actually get some win, play some alright rugby, score some tries.
I agree.
Get them on the confidence a little bit up and have something to build off.
It's weird. I'm just looking at Catalans. Obviously, they beat Leeds last week. So then you go in, you're now 2 from 2 after beating a Championship team. You go to Castleford next week, you could all of a sudden be 3 from 3.
And then just loads.
And your season looks very different.
Season looks good. You've got then in 2 weeks, you've got a cup quarter final that's very winnable.
Yeah. So it's just important to get a win.
Yeah, definitely.
Widnes Warrington.
Now, this was interesting because this was close for a very long time.
It was a bit similar to that Bradford and Salford game we were talking about before. Widnes were in the lead, and then the last 20 minutes or so, it just sort of...
Yeah, it was 10-6 to Warrington at half-time. I think Widnes got to 16-10.
They did, yes.
16 apiece, and then Warrington get 2 late-ish again.
Ben Curry got the match winner.
Similar thing for Warrington. they've not had the greatest starts to the season. They were on back-to-back losses, Wigan and then Wakey. You just need to get a win.
Yes, they did need to get a win.
And it's going to be a difficult period for them, so get started with a win.
I think Vegas, you mentioned in our pre-season episode, Duke said that you thought Vegas would take it out to them, and I think we've seen that they lost to us, then couldn't. They travelled back, took it out to them when they played Wakefield. Bit sluggish, probably starting off this game until they got towards the end. I think we've seen a bit of a hangover from Vegas and the travel taking it out to them, really. But I still think, though, if they can spike at the right time, Sneed coming in is obviously going to help them out. But if they can spike at the right time...
You can play on Friday, Sneed.
Yeah.
And you think St Helens are lacking a general, and Warrington have got one.
Yeah. That's, tell you what, it's Brad saying.
Something to look out for on Friday's game.
Yeah. Sunday, 2 games. Obviously, we played Saturday as well as them 2 games. Lee played Batley. Batley mid-table this season. Obviously, it's only 2 games in for them, but last season finished 10th. So they're one of the middle to lower sides in the division.
Yeah, I think it was 14 in the division last year.
Yeah. 36-0 at half time, 62-4. And you know what? I think Lee have done a professional job. It was the same thing we talked about when Saints beat Salford.
They've done what they needed to do.
Get a win, put some points on and try some of the players that you'd have fancied, really. Yeah. Now, Wakefield, Huddersfield. It's one of the ties of the round, really.
Yeah.
The new boys Wakey versus Huddersfield, who've not been great in the last couple of seasons. Huddersfield winning 12-6 at half time, go on to lose it 22 points to 12, and Wakey had to deal with some adversity here. Lost one of the main men, Max Jowett, just before half time. So 18 unanswered points without Jowett.
There's probably one, along with us and Hull FC, that was probably people had their eye on, didn't they? I think most people would have gone with Warrington will beat Widnes and Leo Batley and, I can't
There was obviously
Super League.
Catalan would win, Catalan was going to win.
Yeah, so there was a couple of words out to people. So there were 2 to probably watch out for here is Hull and Wigan and Wakefield and Huddersfield.
Yeah.
They'll take a lot away.
Maybe the Saints and Leeds game as well.
They're impressive in the start of the Super League return, aren't they, Wakefield? Got a couple of good wins. Like I just said, beating Warrington after the...
They beat Leeds and they beat Warrington.
Yeah. And they beat Huddersfield in the Challenge Cup.
They 1-2 lost 2 to start the season. They lost against Saints.
They lost to Saints. But have a good fight, though.
Yeah, they did.
They just started to pick up some nasty injuries.
And they lost to Hull KR off a missed goal, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was that close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that close. So they've run those 2 teams close.
Yeah. They probably had a good fight at the start of the season. Considering where they were last time they was in Super League.
Yeah, you're right.
They're doing well.
Yeah, they're going to struggle here, I think, next couple of weeks.
Huddersfield?
Wakey. A few injuries there. Huddersfield, they'll be hoping a lot of Evalds.
Jowett makes them tick, doesn't he? So if he's not playing,
Jowett out and Matty Staunton went off injured.
Yeah.
He's been very good.
He's been good, hasn't he, since last
season? What's the prop forward called? Vagana?
Yeah,
he went off injured.
Yeah. So they've got some bodies down this week.
Yeah. Good round of Challenge Cup rugby, really. All it missed was a championship team sneaking a win. That would have made the perfect Challenge Cup round, really.
Yeah, one of the championship clubs going through.
One of the big boys getting knocked out in us and some shocks and close games.
They gave Warrington a bit of a scare, didn't they, with this?
Yeah. Radford give Salford
a bit of a scare, so they're nearly there.
Yeah. Right, it's been a different episode. I have to talk about a loss.
Yep.
We bounce back next week, obviously, hoping that them 4 injury concerns are just concerns.
Fingers crossed.
Everything's good.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
We'll put a tweet out when we get the 21-man squad and talk about that. Big game next weekend, Leeds.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be my first trip to Headingley.
I can't believe that.
It's a bit shocking, that, isn't it? Because I'm a rugby fan. I'm 27 and I've not been to Headingley yet.
You've been to loads of games, but not Headingley.
I've been to Cass, I've been to Wakey.
It's just always fallen on a bad weekend for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I've never been to... As a rugby fan, you've got to
Leeds like doing them on Saturdays as well, which is no good for us in cricket season. But this is before cricket season, so we've got the next couple of big away days before cricket starts. Leeds and Hull KR. Yeah, looking forward to them.
So that'll be good.
Big time. Right, thank you for joining me, lads.
No problem. See you in Leeds.
No problem.
See you next week.